Right now, get up to 20% off select online storage solutions. Put heavy-duty HDX totes to good use, protecting what's important to you. The solid, impact-resistant design prevents cracking, and the clear base and sides make items easy to find, even when the totes are stacked. Find select online shelving and tote storage up to 20% off at the Home Depot to organize every room in your home, from your garage to your attic. Visit HomeDepot.com. How doers get more done.
New Year, same extra value meals at McDonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps, plus fries, and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only, prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Jeremy, can you please tell me who led college football in yards per game this season? Because I know Mississippi was second, even though Chambliss wasn't the starter at the beginning of the season. They average almost 500 yards a game. They're putting up 40 points a game in the CFP, and it's very different. Miami has held its 2 college football playoff opponents to 17 combined points, and it has, 2 scoreless first halves, 2 scoreless halves in there.
That would be the future Oklahoma State, North Texas Mean Green.
And USF is 3rd on that list, and FSU is, 6th on that list? 2 teams that play tempo, 2 teams with, if you look at the numbers, good quarterbacks. Not a quarterback like this. I wholeheartedly agree. Great quarterback. But Miami does hold teams that play with tempo in check.
You guys got me all scared thinking that these 2 teams with pace, and now Mike's to everyone they played with. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
But Miami led the game against FSU by 25 points, and then in the fourth quarter, FSU scored 19 points by running 36 plays in 9 minutes of game time.
100%.
Like, it's a problem.
100%. And that, to your rotation point, I'd be worried about that. Ruben Bain, for as great as he is, I wouldn't categorize him as this high motor player every snap. Like in that FSU game, what did he play? 76 snaps in that game? Miami, and Corey Heatherman has spoken to this. They had to learn to bring guys along online. Guys like Herbert Scroggins, guys like Marquise Lightfoot and Armando Blunt, they were not checking into the game at that time.
We're still doing the whole snaps.
How many games did he play?
Yeah. There were a number of times this season, including during the Texas A&M game, Mike, late in the Texas A&M game, where I'm watching Ruben Bain. He was just sort of wandering around out there because he's tired.
Mm-hmm. Which is why we needed rotation, development, and depth. At the start of the season, I said, I don't think Miami has enough on their roster right now to win a national title because I don't believe they have the depth. And I would have continued to say that all the way through SMU, and then something clicked. Look, Justin Scott has really come on the defensive line. 5-star.
You know about Justin Scott?
Marquise Lightfoot. I saw Marquise Lightfoot in Green Tree, and I was like, who is this guy? This guy doesn't look like he's going to amount to anything. His waist is super small. He was I'm like, he looks
thin.
I'm like, that's what a 5-star is supposed to look like? Dan, his waist is doubled in size, and he's learning from Jason Taylor, who, if anyone can teach a slender man how to rush the passer, it'd be him.
You know about that double in size waist?
And now he's making impactful plays against top-end competition. This is why I'm saying, like, if you want to talk about Miami against tempo, if you want to invoke those games, be fair to. I'm nervous about it, too. Hell, I'm one of the first people to invoke SMU and Louisville when it came to this opponent. You have to appreciate that Miami is a totally different team from even a personnel standpoint, not just from a tendency standpoint.
Do you appreciate it?
They have different players.
You don't appreciate it. Le Batard does not appreciate how good Miami is.
You need to appreciate.
And listen,
that's why Cristobal comes on Greg Cody's show.
I didn't want to say
Zaslow
it.
Show 2.0 also.
Okay, there you go.
This one.
And Kane's insight.
Oh, imagine that. What's the one he didn't come on?
Huh. Imagine that. No, because you're a negative guy. You know, I say Mario Cristobal, and you think of the way the Georgia Tech game ended 2 years ago. You got to get past that. We're also obsessed with the fact that this quarterback throws fast. Miami's got an excellent defense. Not a very good one, an excellent defense, especially against the run. Much better than last year against the pass. And one other thing we haven't mentioned is that, look, people are calling them Ole Miss tackles a reason. for a reason. Ole Miss is half a team. They have a bad defense. Miami's Brob Nagian line is gonna control the line of scrimmage.
What's that word? Can
Brob
you write it on the telestrator? How do you spell that? How do you spell that word? And what does that word mean?
It means the University of Miami has 5 giants on the offensive line.
But what is the word? Say it again.
Check out the Great Cody Show.
Brob Nagian. Brob Nagian.
That's one word or 2 words? Is that someone's name?
No,
what is that?
It's one word.
That's a verb?
Here we go. So B.
How many letters are
R.
in?
I'm about to spell it.
Talk it out as you spell it.
That's probably one of those adverbs.
Ding.
Say what you're spelling. Write your letters.
Brob
Spell it out.
Nagian.
Audio.
Can you say the letters?
BROBDINGNAGIN.
That is not a word.
Miami has a Brob Nagian offensive line, and Mark Fletcher is going to run for days against that defense. They're going to control the line of scrimmage, the TOP. That's why Miami's going to win this game.
Brob Nagian. Adjective. Gigantic.
Put it on the poll, please. Have you ever heard anyone use the word Nagian before?
One last point on Ole Miss. I don't think they're just a quarterback team. They got plenty of talent. He likes to spread it around. They got really good wide receivers. But the player that I'm worried about, there's been one running back that really hurt Miami, really hurt. And he was getting outside on the perimeter, which is not something that we often see. It was Brown from Louisville. Kewan Lacey is a really fantastic football player. He can bounce it outside. I know he's coming into the game carrying an injury, but he's got power. He's a complete back, and he can hurt Miami.
Do you realize, Greg, that when you said that, I thought that you were referencing a former Giant player? I thought it was 3 words. I thought his name was Brob Nagian, and his nickname was Dig. I thought his middle name was Dig. I thought it was
Ding,
for sure.
not Dig.
Okay,
Ding.
It sounded like Dig. You use a 15-letter word when you could just say big.
Yeah, that's
Right. Praise me. One or the other.
Jeremy's an ally there.
I love that.
Why use 3 letters when you can use 15 words?
Damn
That's
right.
the Jeremy philosophy.
Greg, I know.
Relax.
Look, you got this weird 2-0 attitude when what's gotten us here is 1-0.
ahead.
You're looking ahead, and you're citing history in terms of Miami's never lost a national championship game at home. If you want to play that game, don't Google their history in the Fiesta Bowl.
Oh, don't do it.
Greg's looking ahead. Dan's looking back to Georgia Tech a couple of years ago. I mean, it's just
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you now trust Mario Cristobal implicitly to win the big game?
I vote yes.
I want to go back to what it is that happened yesterday in Baltimore. After 18 seasons, the Ravens are one of the most stable franchises in all of sports. And Dominique Foxworth proclaimed himself, and this bothers me when people do this, as shocked but not surprised.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can be shocked without being surprised. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Can you be shocked without being surprised? Even though I understood what he was saying, because people were talking for a while that Harbaugh might be in trouble there. But the thing that I want to put in front of you guys is the following, because I didn't remember this. I had to go look it up to get the specifics of how it is that the last 4 Ravens seasons have ended, okay? The last 4 of them. Because obviously, in the last game, you've got Loop missing a field goal, and Pittsburgh gets into the playoffs. And I don't believe any of us would honestly say that Pittsburgh is better than Baltimore. We'd say Aaron Rodgers, the old guy, played all the games. Lamar Jackson didn't. Therefore, Pittsburgh is in the playoffs. Pittsburgh, I guess Rodgers missed 1 game, but Lamar Jackson not being himself is the reason that Baltimore's not in the playoffs. So, a missed field goal at the end, which doesn't make them actually any worse. They'd be in the playoffs. That's how this season ends. Last season ends. They're in Buffalo. They got the 2-point conversion. Mark Andrews drops it at the goal line. That's how that season ends. 2023, Zay Flowers, goal line fumble when they're down 17-7 against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. And then 2022 with Tyler Huntley, right? With their backup quarterback. I don't know if you guys remember this wild card game at Cincinnati. He fumbles 3rd and goal at the Bengals 1, and it's returned 98 yards for the game-winning touchdown. That's how their last 4 seasons have ended. What does that have to do with Harbaugh?
I get what you're saying, but in going back in time, Dan, you're showing a downward trajectory. They have been getting worse and worse. I think it's pretty clear that Lamar Jackson is diminishing a little bit. And keep in mind, Lamar Jackson saved John Harbaugh's job. They announced a parting of ways, John Harbaugh and the Ravens. Lamar Jackson came in, lit the world on fire, and they decided, you know what? Let's keep this together. We're not going to part ways. And then the Ravens are in the conversation. But how much more talent did that Ravens team need to have for people to start worrying about John Harbaugh? What does he bring to the table? He's a special teams guy. I think his greatest skill, the Harbaugh name, they build great staffs. But people poach those guys. Is this guy a Mike McDonald merchant? I don't know how you could look at the last year of Baltimore Ravens football and be like, no, this guy's ready to go. I understand why he's a hot candidate. He's a Super Bowl champion. So is Brian Billick. And I'm not making that comparison. I'm just saying this is catnip for Miami Dolphin fans. As soon as I saw that news, I thought that Greg Cody had the Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh, go get him article written in drafts.
Well, but you can't do the Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh, go get them when one of the main reasons Harbaugh was fired was likely because Lamar Jackson didn't want him to be his coach anymore.
Well, Lamar Jackson had a bad season, and good quarterbacks have bad seasons. We've said that about Tua, who I don't put in anywhere near Lamar Jackson's class, but the Ravens have been a respected, well-run franchise until now. The idea that they fired John Harbaugh because a kid kicker missed a 44-yard field goal, which is tantamount to an extra point. It's a chip shot in the modern NFL.
I object to that.
It's a chip shot.
Greg, let's not minimize this saying that it's because a kid missed a field goal.
It absolutely is.
They lost 8 other games.
They had 8 wins. That's why he's available.
Tyler Poop.
Because Lamar Jackson was injured for a third of the year.
They had 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks.
He had a bad season.
That's
Lamar
garbage.
Jackson.
That is garbage. What you just did there is garbage,
They
making
put up 8
Huntley
wins
a
with
Pro
2.
Bowl quarterback. You made Huntley a Pro Bowl quarterback just because 7 other guys dropped out. That's nonsense what you just did there. What is happening here, Greg, where Mike Ryan is accurately accusing you of having that column already written? Because Dolphin fans are going to absolutely want just the Harbaugh name. It's just so silly.
I want to know, by the way, Greg, like when the Harbaugh news comes out, what's the process? Like, are you already home? So it's like, okay, let me go sit in front of the computer. Are you out and you go home and get in front of the computer?
Or did you have it pre-written weeks ago?
Yeah.
No, it was not. It was not pre-written because I didn't think Harbaugh would be fired. I didn't think Baltimore was that dumb. I said on this air yesterday that the problem I have with the fire the coach mentality is that every time somebody says to me, and it's happened thousands of times, fire blank coach, fire McDaniel, and I'm like, who's next? And the answer is always anybody, which is not helpful in the least. In this case, the possibility that John Harbaugh is next, if I were the Dolphins, I absolutely would get in line to hire John Harbaugh.
All right, kicking things off with Smirnoff, the official vodka sponsor of the NFL and the #1 vodka in the world. Chris Cody, you're here.
Smirnoff!
Wow, you're on the money with Smirnoff.
Smirnoff!
Chris, you know what goes great with Smirnoff?
Smirnoff!
Yes, but I'm really talking about game day fit. The style's got to match the vibe.
Smirnoff!
All right, here's the deal. Game day is everything, and that's exactly why your fit has to match the occasion.
Smirnoff!
Starting this December, Smirnoff is giving fans 21 and over the chance to score limited edition Smirnoff commission merchandise from some of today's top creators, including Kayla Jones, Gavin Matthew, and Aleli May.
Smirnoff!
Here's the kicker. One lucky fan will take home the grand prize, a trip to the biggest game of the offseason. Plus, one fan will win Aleli May's one-of-one game day jacket.
Wow.
The merch will be dropped on select dates from December to January 21, and it's all courtesy of what brand?
Smirnoff!
That's right, Chris. Fans 21 and over can head to Smirnoff Socials to learn how to sign up. And don't forget to grab a bottle of Smirnoff vodka, number 21 at your local retailer.
Smirnoff!
Please drink responsibly.
Smirnoff!
Number 21 vodka distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anybody under legal drinking age.
Smirnoff!
No purchase necessary. Must be legal U.S. resident, 21 or older. Sweepstakes starts 12/15/2025 at 12 a.m. Eastern and ends 1/23/2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. See official rules at program website.
Hey, Jeremy, happy holidays.
Happy Chanukah.
I want to toast you. Actually, I don't. I will toast with you.
Okay.
We're coworkers.
Friends, you could say.
No, we cannot say that, but we both enjoy an ice-cold Miller Lite.
That's true.
Especially around the holidays. You know, it's the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite.
It's really amazing. Every time we say that, I can't believe it.
Well, it's crazy because, they've basically been partners with the Dan Le Batard show for half of their existence. Wow. When I put it to you that way, we got an old-ass show.
Yeah, we do. That's crazy.
Hey, let's look around at our friends, not each other, and our family, even though they're not here. I do miss your brother, though.
Yeah, I know. I'll bring him back.
And take that first sip. Look around and know that we made the right decision. When it comes to a domestic light lager, Miller Lite is the best. And it's a holiday season, as we mentioned. Why don't you enjoy that holiday season by drinking a beer that won't weigh you down? The original light beer since 1975, still hitting different 50 years later. Brewed for flavor with simple ingredients like malted barley, rich balanced toffee notes, and that iconic golden color that you can see from across the room. The best holiday beers are the ones you don't expect. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. 'Tis Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
One of my big goals for 2026 is just less money stress. How about that? I've got a kid now, and I want to start a real travel fund, knock down some debt, and not feel like every surprise expense is a mini heart attack, which I've had about 11 now since the holidays. Managing your money doesn't have to be a struggle this year. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It brings your entire financial life, budgeting, accounts, and investments, net worth, and future planning together into one dashboard on your laptop or phone. Start the new year on the right foot financially. After the chaos of the holidays, Monarch has been my full financial reset. I can actually see what I'm spending, set realistic budgets, and track goals I'll stick with past February. It even tells me what goals are doable based on our real numbers, which I desperately need. The weekly recaps alone keep me honest, even when I'm sleep deprived like the last 3 days. The baby has been absolutely insane, but Monarch helps me know that I'm financially okay. Monarch help users save over $200 per month on average after joining. This new year, achieve your financial goals for good. Monarch is the all-in-one tool that makes proactive money management simple all year long. Use code Dan at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code Dan.
Dan Le Batard.
All right, we got to go back out there. That was big. Wake him up.
He doesn't want to be bothered anymore. Now it's getting tense because he didn't need that as a result. He needs something that happens.
You can see him mother effing on.
He says,
"Can we bother? Are we bothering you right now?
Turn on your microphone, Greg."
My microphone's on.
Stugotz.
Paint the scene.
Paint the scene is I got to go to work. Good night.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Let me ask this question because I think the media at large does a wildly terrible job of really understanding what it is that coaches do and why it is or how it is that Harbaugh's 16-hour day provides advantages for him that Mike Tomlin can't figure out with his 16-hour day. I think all of that stuff that we do is very poorly done. What is John Harbaugh bringing specifically that you say, I believe that skill is something Mike McDaniel doesn't have and will never have? Like, give me what the things are that you think are coming with him that I suddenly, because I think that Harbaugh name has some fairy dust and it's just something that's exciting, but that you say that just because he's won there. And I don't think, as we just saw with Pete Carroll and countless others, I don't think you can actually take it with you wherever you go. I don't believe that. I believe that the Raiders' job is a bad job, and I believe that the Dolphins' job is a bad job because they don't have quarterbacks.
I don't disagree with that. I think what you get in John Harbaugh is a man with a fairly impeccable reputation. If you're a big free agent, and maybe it's a free agent quarterback, would you rather play for John Harbaugh or Mike
Lamar
McDaniel?
Jackson doesn't want to play for him, and free agents go where the money is.
I feel like a quarterback might say Mike McDaniel, though, just in terms of running the offense.
Can I take a stab at answering the question from talking to other Dolphin fans? And Greg does a great job at that. I think John Harbaugh certainly gives off leadership more than Mike McDaniel. And when you're twisting in the wind looking for answers and you have the stammering uhs, I think people are like, let's get an adult. And this is an adult that has a Lombardi trophy to his name. This is like catnip for Miami Dolphin fans. They always fall in love with the big name savior, whether they get him or not, whether it works or not, because they feel like that's a way to dig them out of this. But again, look at the seasons. Mike McDaniel had one less win with a far less talented roster and a much more difficult division, I think. And yeah, the Ravens had adversity. They had injuries. They also have a really deep-ass roster. Mike McDaniel did a pretty good job when you compare it to the job that John Harbaugh just most recently did.
We pull a Virginia Tech, we hire John Harbaugh, and we keep Mike McDaniel as our offensive coordinator.
That has to be so weird for Brent Pry to be like the next year, you're fired as coach in the middle of the season and you come back as coordinator under James Franklin. That has to be so weird for him to sit in the corner and look at some of the same players and be like, you've been demoted because you're not good at your job. You were let go.
My favorite, I see this all the time, like even over the last 24 hours since Harbaugh has been fired. How about the Dolphins hire Harbaugh and make Mike McDaniel the offensive coordinator?
Yeah, that's what we just said.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying.
There are fans that want that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it makes sense. It's logical.
No, it doesn't.
It makes absolute
None
sense.
of that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not saying Mike McDaniel would agree to that, but it would be a perfect marriage. Mike McDaniel is a classic example of a great offensive mind who may or may not be head coach material.
Okay, I want to stop you guys just because of this, okay? I asked you a question that asked for some empirical things I can hold on to as to what it is that Harbaugh brings here. And Mike said gives off leadership, and you said impeccable reputation. That's shit. Like, that's nice. It's optics. It has nothing to do with Sundays. Like, gives off leadership?
What are you
impeccable reputation?
You're looking for a guarantee? There's no guarantee.
I'm not looking for a guarantee. I'm looking for vision.
I'll take a stab at it. For one, I would fire Mike McDaniel today. All right.
Again?
Well,
this is
yeah.
Can we get the counter up?
This is the
Thank you.
50th straight day where you have
Is it that
fired
many?
Mike. It might be more than that. I don't know.
I'm not keeping track. I mean, just.
It is 48, and we are moving, I believe,
I would
now
fire
to 49.
him today.
Right. Okay.
Mike
Oh, wow,
McDaniel.
49.
Like you would the last 49 days as well.
Like my countdown. Where's my click? Go on.
Here's the thing. That's my gimmick. Here's the thing. All four Stephen Ross hires at coach. They're all first-year rookie head coaches. They're all coaches with no experience. It's Philbin, it's Adam Gase, it's Brian Flores, and now it's Mike McDaniel. All of them. Zero experience. None of them have worked. Give me a guy who's got some experience.
Hello.
Give me somebody who's done it. This is something different. This is something new. Now, with that said, Stephen Ross has no chance of being able to land Harbaugh.
He's a Michigan guy.
He's not. No, he's not. He did not go to Michigan.
No. Stephen Ross is a Michigan booster.
Right.
But Harbaugh's not.
Well,
the
his daddy
Harbaugh
is.
name, pal.
He didn't go to
Jim is.
Michigan.
The great Harbaugh name.
He didn't go to Michigan.
Stephen-
The great Harbaugh name
Stephen-
is Michigan.
Stephen Ross tried to hire.
What are we doing?
All right.
What are we-
Hire Harbaugh's mom.
You think Stephen Ross is like, that guy has nothing to do with Michigan? Come on.
His daddy has to do with Michigan, and so does Jim. Stephen Ross tried to hire Jim. Same DNA. You didn't get Jim, now go for John.
So Stephen Ross never gets the big hire. He's never been able to get the big hire. And you think after trying to court John, an actual Michigan man, is he Jim or John? I always
Jim
get it.
is the Michigan
Jim.
guy.
Trying to court Jim several times, who's a real actual Michigan man, and fails. You don't think that John's like, hey, Jim, why didn't you want to go work for that guy?
You know why they failed? You know why they failed? You want to Google like what happened around the pursuit of Jim Harbaugh and how dicey that was? It's like, I understand.
They're literally in the same scenario right now.
I understand why you accuse Stephen Ross of not being able to get the guy, and he has very famously fumbled it, but like his problem is that he's too aggressively trying to get the guy. Like
so he tries too hard?
Maybe he's playing it cool right now.
Like he did with like Tom Brady. The Jim Harbaugh thing he would have got if he played it way cooler.
So he should pretend like he's not interested.
Play hard to get.
I understand why it is that everybody wants the experienced coach. You want a name, you've seen someone do it before.
Proven, not just experience.
But you say this, but 6 of the 32 NFL teams have made the postseason the last 3 seasons. 6 of them. Sirianni, McDermott, McVay, the Texans, D'Amico Ryan, Mike Tomlin, and I'm forgetting one.
These are the 6 that have made it consecutive years.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find
Tomlin and LaFleur. That's right.
You're in the costume, pal.
McDermott and Tomlin are the only ones there that would classify as experienced when they were hired 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
The other guys were all young guys, and I don't think that anybody right now would want McDermott. Mike is so disappointed in you for not doing LaFleur, for not doing.
You haven't seen the movie.
I've never seen the movie,
but like it's a line from the movie.
Cool.
I've never seen it. You should have said LaFleur.
Like the odds that we could get to a specific dodgeball reference
organically
is impossible.
I already
and
told
yet we
you.
got there.
I refuse to watch the movie. You built it up too much. It can't be as good as you built it up. I'm not watching it.
My question to you stands, though. In the instance that I just mentioned, all of those teams went with somebody that wasn't experienced other than, well, Tomlin wasn't that experienced either when the Steelers hired him a million years ago. And McDermott isn't somebody that anybody would want, even though he's got probably the best winning percentage in the sport.
Right.
So you want an experienced guy, but the people who are having the success, that's not how we're doing it anymore. Like we are going and getting young coaches who are the next thing, who can scheme it up and are visionary masterminds.
But Ross never makes the right choice. He's shown he can't find that visionary mastermind.
Right. He's been looking for the next Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen.
He's 0 for 4.
And is 0 for 4. That's a good
Why
point
is it
by
always
you.
offensive guys? I get it, but like the track record of getting the brilliant young
Flores was defense, though.
I mean, he's so highly regarded, and credit to him, he was on Tua's ass before anybody. I think that defensive minds are probably where you go, look, it's all a crapshoot. I know I speak with conviction. I don't know how this works out. I don't know who's the best hire. Mike McDonald worked out pretty good. I like the way the defensive coaches are working right now, and I understand the Dolphin thing. It's like catnip. That's a big name. That's a big surname. But the one that escapes me as to how this isn't like a bigger thing when I talk to Dolphins fans is you want to talk about surnames and young, brilliant minds. Chris Shula is right there. Yeah. What do we do? This one's
a lot
easy.
of expectation right there.
A lot of expectation. No one remembers Don Shula down here. No one remembers. Like, they all look like Greg, the people that remember the cobbler. No one remembers the expectation.
Cobbler.
Like, this is a homecoming. This is a great story. He's worked with Sean McVay. He's highly regarded. Well, this feels perfect.
Speaking of looking like Greg, I have something I want to go to here and present to the YouTube audience in a second. But I don't believe that many people who are watching football the last 2 years would have said that what you need to do if you have Sam Darnold or Geno Smith as your quarterback is go get somebody who's so good at coordinating defenses that he can turn Seattle into what it is Seattle's been turned into, even though they haven't had a quarterback that anyone would trust at the top of their food chain. What Seattle did, I don't know how excited do you imagine that Seahawks fans were a couple of years ago with that hire? I know that he was one of the names, like with Ben Johnson. He's supposed to be the whiz kid, but that's not experience, Zaz. That's not what we're talking about. Like, everybody wants whatever it is that Andy Reid brought over there, but I just don't think that that's the way that league is doing it anymore.
I'm not even disagreeing. The part that I think we don't see eye to eye is Stephen Ross, not the NFL. Stephen Ross has not been able to identify that next young great coach. So since Stephen Ross is not capable of finding that guy, I would like them to get someone who is proven to be a good coach.
Mike McCarthy.
Agreed.
Mike McCarthy?
Jason Garrett.
Anybody? Mike McCarthy? That's what you want? You want experience.
You'd rather have Mike McCarthy than John Harbaugh? You're insane.
No, I'm joking. It's I don't want experience in a name just because it's an experienced name. It's not what I want.
Okay, there's 7 head coach openings in the NFL right now. I don't think it's a coincidence that yesterday Harbaugh's agent says we've been contacted 7 times by 7 different teams. And it's not just teams that need a head coach, it's other teams. Not saying Miami is one, but I guarantee you more than 7 clubs are interested in hiring John Harbaugh, and they should be, okay? And you may think those 7 clubs are all wrong for inquiring about
I know
Harbaugh.
all those 7 clubs are bad and unstable, and so they want anything that feels like stability, and that is a call.
You'd want to talk to Harbaugh, wouldn't you?
Yes, of course.
That's what I mean. Like, I think it's like bringing him in to like talk to him. I think is fine.
Well, how about
while
this?
you have a coach.
Well, how about this? There's a Yahoo report saying that Phillip Rivers might be a head coaching candidate
Do you want to interview him?
Dan?
Hit the white guys button.
Yeah, no experience, Dan.
Hello, listeners. You know that I live in Miami, which means my idea of quote-unquote winter is just putting on a hoodie or a cardigan and acting like I've suffered. But every time that I travel somewhere that's actually cold, I'm reminded that my wardrobe is completely and utterly unprepared. But that right there is where Quince comes in. I also realized that if I'm going to be on camera for broadcast gigs, I probably shouldn't look like I just grabbed whatever was closest to the door. Quince makes clothes that deliver premium materials, thoughtful design, and pieces that hold up season after season after season after season. And particularly with Quince, their outerwear has been the thing that's especially impressed me. Those down jackets, wool coats, Italian leather, and folks, that cashmere sweater, ridiculously soft, looks great, and somehow doesn't cost what you'd expect. Trust me, I am the only one on this show who actually dresses to impress, and Quince is what's now helping me do it. Refresh your winter wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/Dan for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Dan. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Dan.
Every day at Sierra, you'll find top brand apparel, footwear, and gear for 20 to 60% less than department and specialty store prices. And during clearance time at Sierra, those incredible prices are 40 divided by 2.5, carry the 1, even lower. And when you shop clearance at Sierra, you can save a whole lot more on everything you need to get active and outside. That's a lot of saving. Epic brands, vast selection, teeny tiny prices. That's Sierra. Visit your local Sierra store today or shop online at Sierra.com.
Prime's exclusive wildcard playoff game is Saturday night. Jordan Love and the Packers take on Caleb Williams and the Bears. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game.
That's going to be caught for the touchdown.
NFC North rivals square off in the latest chapter of the NFL's oldest feud. The Packers and Bears in Prime's exclusive wildcard playoff game. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on Prime. Sign up for a 30-day free trial today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Don Le Batard.
Yeah, very Imagine if someone told you couldn't have a Corvette.
Stugotz.
I'm a grown-ass man who's not filthy rich. I can't afford a Lamborghini. Well, I probably can, but that's
Whoa! Hey!
Wow.
Okay, Greg.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Do you have to adhere to the Rooney Rule if you're presently sitting Mike McDaniel in the cuck chair, making him watch this entire thing?
Yeah.
It's like Zaz with Billy Crystal.
Yo, you know I don't play that game. Everybody knows I'm not a cuckold.
If people want to tell me, like in the example, the Mike McDonald and not exciting people, although Mina Kimes was all over that. She was hyping him up for a long time. Mike McDonald is actually an argument for John Harbaugh because it seems as though the Harbaughs are really good at identifying coaching talent. Now, maybe that is a skill that they can't replicate year over year. Maybe they found all the good ones and can't find any other good ones. But your hope is that John Harbaugh would bring in the next Mike McDonald.
So let me just close the loop on this by asking all of you this. I saw Jeremy smile as soon as I said loop and know what he was thinking over there. It annoys me to have that.
That's why we're talking about Harbaugh.
I can't even smile.
Kid kicker misses that chip shot field goal. They fire the coach.
Then the coach walks him back with his arm around him.
Come on.
This is what I want to present to all of you because I believe most of the people listening to this would be able to discern for me what the gulf of difference is between Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback and whoever it is that you think is the 10th best quarterback. Do you feel like you can do that with coaches? Like, do you feel like, because when you're sitting here talking about the identifying of future coaches, okay, Mike McDaniel is Kyle Shanahan's guy. That's the guy. Everybody wanted a Shanahan guy when Shanahan was the one doing the winning. So do you think that we or the people in this audience can tell me appreciably, not based on what it is that you've seen Baltimore do with Lamar Jackson, how John Harbaugh is better than whoever is regarded as 10 spots below him. And whatever that difference is, do you view it as that valuable and that difference making that when you're making the argument gives off leadership or impeccable resume, you feel like you got a good handle on, if I put this guy in my locker room and I still don't have a quarterback, I am doomed at quarterback. I can take that guy, put him here, and I'm going to be able to feel better than somebody who's 10 spots worse than him. I just don't feel like anybody can do that listening to this, and I don't feel like anybody in this room can do it either.
Aikman could do it.
I also just don't understand because you hire Harbaugh, right? And you know you don't have a quarterback. So that means you're bringing him in with the idea of we're going to give him a very long leash to figure this out because he's leader guy. McDaniel was the phenom that you guys are talking about. He came in and he turned Tua, who Brian Flores said was a nobody, into a superstar when their roster was better. This roster stunk. So what'd you do? You fired the GM, which is the right move. And now, to me, what you should do is give McDaniel another opportunity with a different quarterback and a better built roster with that leash that maybe you're going to give Harbaugh to go back to being the wonderkind that you actually did hit on. You've never done it before, but this time you did.
They're likely going to do that because they're not going to land Harbaugh, like I said.
No. Just like 15 years ago, by the way.
No chance of landing Harbaugh. But just without context, because what you're saying makes sense, but without context, you can have John Harbaugh coach your team or Mike McDaniel coach your team. Which would you want?
I'd like McDaniel because
okay.
I think that the last several years of John Harbaugh have been boosted by having one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game.
Look, he won a Super Bowl also before Lamar Jackson.
He did.
Great defense.
He had a great defense, and Joe Flacco got
and
really
a very
hot.
stable organization that built him a great team.
What I just want you guys to sort of marinate in this because I know these things happen very quickly and people become dumb very fast, okay? If you told me simply, hey, I've got a coach who can make Raheem Mostert score 18 touchdowns in a season. I want that, and I don't know that Harbaugh can do it. I know he can do it with Derrick Henry. I don't know that he could do it with Raheem Mostert. And I saw that happen. But I understand what happens here where you end up under 500 and everybody forgets everything that happens, and now somebody else's trash is your savior. Of course, all of the losing teams in the league are going to call Harbaugh. Vrabel had to sit out a year. Like, Vrabel sat out a year because everybody was just sort of running around over the few job openings. Every year, there's like one coveted guy and 10 teams who need a coveted guy. 10 teams that need the optics of gives off leadership.
I guess I'm putting value on the distinction between Mike McDaniel seems to be a guy who is able to coach the quarterback, but I don't know if he's been able to coach the entire team, while Harbaugh, it seems he can coach the entire team.
That's fair.
Or he can hire a great offensive coordinator. If he doesn't feel like that's his
We've got to fix
expertise.
the Dolphins. Get me Adam Archuleta as fast as you can so that we could just start interviewing random broadcasters. No, the Dolphins have they have Aikman on a stipend. They've got him under contract. Let's just get an assortment of other broadcasters to come in here and tell us what the Dolphins need to do. Start with Adam Archuleta.
Right. Guest booking, can you get on that?
Is this alphabetical?
Who would come? Get me Ala Abdul Nabi.
In hearing you guys talk it out, again, I'm not a Dolphin fan, and I don't know what the right move is. We're talking this one out. But as we talked it out, I'm like, why would John Harbaugh pick Miami?
That's fair. Retirement spot.
He wouldn't.
He had a really great career because of the stability of one of the best front offices in the sport, and he comes and he walks into a total mess with a bad cap situation because they got a dead weight quarterback that is going to be near impossible to move. They're going to have to take a huge cap hit on it. If I'm John Harbaugh, I know it's Miami, but and if I have 7 teams interested, there's got to be a better spot than this.
We talked about this yesterday, right? When it comes to salary caps and Stephen Ross, who's in his 80s. I'm not trying to kill him off, but he's got more money than anyone needs, and who knows how much longer he has left. Why can't Stephen Ross call up John Harbaugh, who clearly is not going to want this job, and say, $50 million a year? $50 million a year. Why can't? There's no salary cap.
I think he'd take it.
Like, if Ross wants him, he's not going to turn down $50 million a year. Why doesn't he do it?
I think he's going to go for the best situation, which largely means the best quarterback.
Even if Ross offered $50 million a year.
That's ridiculous money.
Why is it ridiculous?
Because he's not going to do it. It's crazy.
I guess my question is, why wouldn't he do it?
I hear you.
If you believe it's that valuable, like if you believe he brings all the things Greg seems to think that he believes, it would be worth that.
May I bring something up? If we were having these conversations last year, I guarantee you you'd be having this same conversation, not with John Harbaugh, but with Bill Belichick. Yep. And that's what a Dolphin fan is.
I feel like I did that last year with Belichick.
Probably did.
The lack of stability here is a giant problem. The turnover, the fact that you don't trust ownership, the fact that the one thing that's been in place the entirety of the 25 years is the owner that you can blame. An owner I wouldn't blame right now if he tried to hire Brian Flores again.
I pitched that in the middle of the season, Dan.
How would that phone call
Brian
go?
Flores would, when you were looking for leadership guy, a guy who's had the experience and learning from that first experience to come back better and stronger than before, doing it with another franchise, learning from a head coach that's stable over there. Why not Brian Flores?
Because the Dolphins have a million problems, and defensive coordinator's not one of them. Anthony Weaver's very good. He's already interviewed for the head coaching job in at least one city. That's not your problem.
Well, and when you talk about, by the way, McDaniel, like, can he coach the rest of the team? He brought in a good defensive coordinator. That defense that Dan thought was going to be historically bad got better and better throughout the season.
Jeremy, isn't that a Harbaugh guy, the defensive coordinator that he brought in?
I want to show the audience a couple of photos here of Ed Orgeron and a haggard-looking Wayne Gretzky and ask the audience which of these two people look like they're closer to becoming Greg Cody. We've got Ed Orgeron here looking strong.
Symmetrically, the face is closed.
The face is round. It looks like there are things inside of Orgeron's cheeks trying desperately to get out. Now put up Wayne Gretzky.
Oh,
here.
wow, I see it there, too.
The great one.
Miami did that. That was Miami.
He's got the Gretzky color more.
What's with the eyebrow?
Yeah, that's...
Greg, do you have a nominee here between the two on who you think looks more like you?
Yeah, I would rather be likened to that Wayne Gretzky photo than to that
Not what I asked you. I didn't ask you who would you prefer to look like. I asked you who looked more like they were on the route to being someone who looked like you.
Sadly, probably Ed Orgeron.
Sadly.
Being honest.
He looks great, I think.
Ed looks great. You got to get the whole picture, though, with Ed.
And look at him in the UM shirt. Come on.
It's a rounder face, right? I believe that Gretzky's face is a little bit too streamlined in order to be your face.
Uncle Dick used to call Greg the point because his head kind of, comes to a point, and that's what Ed Orgeron has that going on.
No, but Ed Orgeron looks like the woman that your lesbian aunt's been bringing to Thanksgiving for the last 30 years.
I'm going to use a Greg Cody word, amalgamation. Let's mix both Gretzky and Orgeron together.
Put them together. Do that, guys.
Have AI do that.
Jeremy, I'm kind of proud.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Does Ed Orgeron look like the woman your lesbian aunt has been bringing to Thanksgiving for the last few years?
Also, cut up me trying to say Ed Orgeron.
I thought we supported you there.
So alone.
We left you alone. We just moved past it.
I appreciate
you gave up on yourself in the middle of it. You gave up on yourself in the middle of it, and we just moved on because it was too low-hanging fruit. It's just too easy.
I'm genuinely worried about your psyche, so I did not want to laugh at it that time.
You know what's funny? Go ahead and get me stuttering on the matriculate. It's not quite that funny because it happened to me a handful of times, not with matriculate on the Christmas break, and I am wondering if something is like short-circuiting in the wiring, in that I am stumbling on some of these words in common speech where I don't have a reference point for something like this happening to my brain. Matriculate the ball down the field.
Thank God you're not the one that said Brob ding Nagian. Which, by the way, rough count of 14 letters on that, not 15, Roy. So rough count of 14 there.
It's a beautiful 5-syllable word.
Should I not be worried that things are coming from my brain into my mouth and doing this without me being able to control it? Matriculate the ball down the field. You were there.
Truthfully, yes, you should be worried. I am.
But good content. I think.
Yeah.
I think
No,
we
we're
can
all just
agree.
going to laugh at you and point when you suffer a stroke.
The Chuck Knobloch of speech.
Have we gotten Adam Archuleta yet?
Efforting.
Okay, well, hurry up.
I mean, we
about it.
literally just came up with this idea.
I
Give us a minute.
understand, but I want to get.
I love this, though. Let's fix the Dolphins.
Let's fix the Dolphins by calling random broadcasters and asking them if they will do for free for us what the Dolphins are paying Troy Aikman a substantive amount of money. Like Troy Aikman's probably calling Ross today. Hey, call Harbaugh, right?
Hey,
I would be.
Actually, is he just sending a text? Is Aikman just sending a text? Hey, I got an idea, John Harbaugh.
Ross is just like, worth every cent.